Hello and welcome to Tachiai's video podcast for the Kyushu Banzuke. I'm Bruce Henderson, Associate Editor of Tachiai, and joining me again is Tachiai creator Andy. Say hello.
Hi, welcome from DC.
Yep, excellent. So wanted to start the podcast with a little bit of news about the blog. Those of you watching this video podcast probably spend time visiting the blog. And I just have to say, I have really been enjoying the Jungyo coverage during the gap that our new contributor, Harith, has been putting up. She has been doing an absolutely amazing, fantastic, wonderful job of finding, translating, and posting all kinds of details. So, Harith, thank you very much. Our traffic is way up as a result because I guess sumo fans are desperate for something to pay attention to in between Honbasho. I also go ahead, Andy.
Oh no, it's been a pleasure because it takes me a day to get through like one article or one headline, and she's been pulling a whole bunch of great insight that it's been very rare to get in between the tournaments. So it's been great.
So I'd also give a call out to Give Me Chanko, who's another new contributor who's been doing Sumotori biographies, and they're also fantastic to read. So just huge thanks to everyone who contributes to the site. The site has never been as rich and as full of content as it is right now. So thank you all for all the effort.
Absolutely.
So let's drop in a big way. Let's talk about the Banzuke. So Leonid did an absolutely amazing job of predicting this Banzuke. I think just highly accurate. And there's a number of things that come up that I think are really interesting. From the reports in Jungyo, I think we're going to actually see us start with all four Yokozuna. I don't know. What do you think about that, Andy?
I'm really looking forward to it, and I think Kisuna Sato is the one still shaky, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to see it through there. I think the other three, especially Kakuryu, seems to be ready, and it'll be very nice to see at least two competing for the Yusho. I mean, it'll be very interesting and very good. And like you said, he hit this on the nail on the head with his Banzuke.
So I'm a little though concerned about Harumafuji is that he soloed Aki. He was the lone surviving Yokozuna, and he did not exit that tournament in completely good health. I don't know. He's laying back a little bit during the Jungyo, which is fine, but do you think that he's banged up?
I think he could be banged up, but the thing is, he was clutch there at the end, and by being able to, I guess, rest a little bit, not go at it quite so hard. I still think that he's probably a bit more ready than Kisuna Sato, just from the little scrapes of news that have been coming out. But I think I really think that we will have two or three Yokozuna there at the end, competing for a Yusho, which will just be fantastic.
That'll be fantastic. So the other thing that really sticks out is that I've taken to calling this position Ozeki Waki. We've got another Ozeki that's in peril. We have Terunofuji now down, Sekiwaki 2 East, needing double-digit wins to take his Ozeki title back. He is a walking he's a walking bandage at times. But I mean, what do you think the chances are there, Andy?
Well, having seen what Haruth put up with with what she's been following, he's got quite a bit of optimism, but at the same time, it's cautious optimism because he doesn't have, I don't think, the Yusho potential that he did when he first came up, and so it'll be a struggle to get 10 wins, and like we've seen in the comments, it'll be very interesting if that 10th win on Senshuraku is going to be thrown up against Koto Shogiku.
Wow.
It,
You know schedulers are going to save that. You know the schedulers are going to save that one because that may even eclipse whatever the final Yokozuna match might be. Holy smokes, would that be huge?
It would be amazing to watch, and I mean, revenge would be, I'm sure, at the top of Koto Shogiku's list, especially if it starts an Ozeki run for him again, which I just can't even fathom that.
That would be just nuts, absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. But you bring up the schedule, and because he's now fighting down at Sekiwaki rank, he's going to face the Ozeki and the Yokozuna in week 1. And so we should know pretty early on whether he's going to have a shot or not. Because if he doesn't exit week 1 with at least 5 wins, it's going to be a tough hill for him to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not looking good. But the thing is,
I have hope, man. I have hope the big kaiju can make it.
Exactly. There's hope, and then there's also a lot of very, very injured Rikishi above him.
That's true. And walking wounded.
I mean, Takayasu, even basically any of the Yokozuna, except maybe Kakuryu, could be. They could be ready for an upset. Kakuryu seems to be pretty solid, but I mean, Haruth pulled up that quote from Hakuho saying that he felt like he's 50%. I'm hoping his 50% is more like 99% for everybody else.
He might be sandbagging as well.
Yeah. So
you brought him up. Let's talk about Koto Shogiku.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was. This time last year, with all of the Kadoban, it would be Kadoban 8 wins, Kadoban 8 wins. I was like, he needs to retire, honestly. But he's got that fire in him that I admire. I love being able to see Aminishiki coming back up, and just not guys like that who are not ready to pack it in. And so, I mean, I'm all for and excited for another Koto Shogiku run. Although I don't think he'll make it back up to Ozeki.
Yeah.
But with Takayasu, who knows? We might be needing an Ozeki soon. So.
Oh man, yeah, we'll get to who's banged up here in a minute. But okay, so you touched on the next subject. I mean, Ishiki. I mean, come on. This guy was, top Makauchi in 2009. He dropped down pretty far, and now he's fought his way back up to Banzuke, and Uncle Sumo is he's in the top division again.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I really liked seeing down there in the lower Maegashira. A lot of times we'll see 3, 4, 5 young guns down there who they really kind of belong down in Juryo. This time around, everybody's a veteran except for Dayamami and Nishikigi, who even Nishikigi is. I mean, he's probably the one who it's like. I doubt he will be Sanyaku. I mean, but everybody else there has been solid Rikishi for a long time, and so this is one time where the lower Maegashira bouts will be just as interesting as what we get in middle and the upper levels.
Let's talk further down the Banzuke. My big delightful surprise when I read it this afternoon, Osunarashi, he remains in Juryo through some magic luck. Or maybe they just are paying him back for the obliterating demotion they gave him last year. But the Egyptian hangs on. What do you think?
Well, he did have, I think it was one final Senshuraku win against Dayamami, who I guess Dayamami was like, I'm already gonna be going up into the Maegashira with his 9-6 record, I think.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was nice to see Osuna Arashi not being demoted. I had fears of it because as soon as the day ended, he had this cryptic tweet about how
He'll be back.
yeah,
It's not
and
over yet.
exactly. So it was great to see that it's not over and that he's not going to be going down in the Makushita for at least for now. So.
All right, so speaking further down the Banzuke still, my man Waki Ichiro, Sandaname, he's Sandaname 85. It's going to be different for this guy, I think. What do you think is up with the man from Texas?
He's gonna be studying a big cluster of Sarogatake guys because the Sarogatake has 5 rikishi right there around him at let's see 85 east, 84 both east and west, 83 and ranked at 86, and most of these guys came off of 6-1, 5-2 records last tournament. One guy, Koto Hayashi, I think he was Kyujo last tournament, and so he seemed to be the one downside over there. But it looked like there are a lot of strong guys there. Seigo is right there, ranked I think right below him. I'm gonna be scouting some more of the competition that he's got down there. So at this point it'll be very interesting to see his progression because these guys were pulling up very, very impressive wins and very good records for where they were. So I hope that he'll be able to continue his climb. But the thing is, he's still got some room there that if he does get a 3 and 4,
he might stay.
Yeah, so that'll be good. But now, I mean, we've got him in the Sandame with Shunba. I mean, Shunba's on the other side, on the upper end, up at 9. But I mean, this is where the career guys really start making their careers, and is here, and then he'll make it into Makushita. But it's just when will that progression? I guess how quickly that progression will go, we'll start to see that here.
So a little shout out to one and only, and anyone else who manages to video stuff from Kyushu. Thank you in advance for any video you can get of Waki Ichiro's matches. Without you folk, it would be impossible for us to see what he's up to. So hey, let's go talk about Rikishi health. So my idea is let's talk Genki now, and we have to start with Japan's national obsession, Kisano Sato, who has been in really dire health for most of the year, and showed up on Jungyo and tried to make a decent go of it. So what do you think's up with the man from Ibaraki?
It's with the Japanese press, it's hard to tell. They're pretty tight-lipped on.
Well, especially him.
Yeah, and it's like everybody's hopes are with him, and it would be tragic to see a great Japanese Ozeki, his career basically ends when he becomes a Yokozuna. And so there's just this hope that he can at least have a year or two of a solid Yokozuna career. I mean, he's not going to be like one of these guys who, when history looks back at him, his legacy and stuff, he's not going to be one of the worst Yokozuna. He doesn't have to worry about that.
Nope.
But he will want to have a credible Yokozuna legacy behind him. So my hopes are that he comes back, but that was a serious injury,
Yep.
and so I mean, just watching other sports, you watch like Jeremy Lin, and you see guys who they're like uh, yeah yeah you just see a lot of guys who sadly they've got these great careers coming up, and the injuries don't work out for them.
So I see, watching the video that's been posted from the tour, it looks like he still has some difficulty with his left arm, but
Yeah.
it seems that his feet are in fine shape, and that he's able to move, he's able to plant and shift his weight, and he's able to apply pressure. So it'll be interesting to see how much capability he's been able to rebuild into that pectoral muscle, and I hope for the best. Let's swing on then to the person who I really think is on the bubble now, and that's Kakuryu. Kakuryu's got to show up, and he's got to be strong, or they're going to call for his head, I think, at the end of this one, which is crazy, given that he won the Yusho and Kyushu last year. What do you think about Kakuryu?
I think that if he gets 10 wins, 12 wins, they really can't say anything.
Yep.
But I at this point, from what Haruth has been able to find in the press, it sounds like he's good to go, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like, finally we've got a Rikishi who he was able to, I guess, properly heal, and hopefully his ankle, his foot is there with him, and if he can get 13, 14 wins, he's looking at a Yusho.
He could contend for it. That's true. Given that the top end of the Banzuke is definitely scratch and dent material right now. So I'm going to turn to my biggest fear, and that's Takayasu. He did not join the Jungyo. He's been keeping a very low profile, which to me communicates that he's kind of iffy. That torn thigh muscle can be a real tough one to get right again. What do you think's going on there, Andy?
He's shooting for 8. That's all I gotta say.
He's Kataban. He's Kataban this time.
Exactly, and this is where Teruno Fuji was, where he had been several times, where I had always wondered if holding back a tournament at Ozeki, even as Kataban Ozeki, holding back, really, given that he would have had all last month, this month, next month to heal, and then coming back and trying to get those 10 wins as an Ozeki Wake.
Yep.
That I wonder if that might be the smart move, but the thing is, they're keeping his condition close to the vest, and if he's good to go, I hope to see him on day one, and I hope to see him at least getting a. He would really need to get 4 or 5 wins that first week. So we'll see.
I'd really like to see him practicing against Kisenosato in the next couple of weeks. That'll be telling. If he shows up at the training camp for his stable, that'll be indicative of what's going on.
And that's the thing, is even with Kisenosato, I think he's shooting for 8. So I think.
Okay, so let's. I had this up to talk about, but do you think that if Kisenosato gets his 8th win, that he then withdraws to further recover, or is his sense of duty to his Yokozuna rank so great, as we may have seen indications of the past, that he's just going to keep driving that thing until the wheels fall off?
I think he may agree with Haruma Fuji that a Kachikoshi for a Yokozuna is at 10. So he may keep going, even if he's got 9. If he's got 8, 9 wins, I think he'll keep trying to plug for that 10th. If he's got 10 wins, I think he would then keep trying to go for a Yusho and trying to contend. So Yeah, I see him competing until his arm falls off. I mean, it,
Okay,
it,
so speaking of people who are getting ready to break down on the side of the road, I brought him up a couple of times, but health check on my kaiju, the Terra no Fuji. Um, the last report that I saw from Jungyo was that he was starting to hurt again, and man, that's not good news. Not
no,
good news at all.
yeah. I mean, especially having. I ran a 5K yesterday. My knees are killing me.
Yeah.
My knee is like I could not walk up the stairs to get up here. It it they're important, and if his are starting to fail, then I mean, yeah, it will be a um a very sad end to a very young career.
Yeah.
If he, but the thing is, I've been saying that about, or I guess I've been fearing that about Kodo Shogiku for a long time, and it may be that it's just this Sanyaku level competition is too much when you've got these kinds of injuries. So you've got guys like Aminishiki down there in the lower part of the Banzuke, who, yeah, I think Teruno Fuji would be able to still hang with and compete with down there. So he may be able to, if he is unable to retain his rank, he may still be able to, um, I guess, compete at a level where he's still a solid Maegashira, and he can hopefully, uh, at some point, return healthy. But
So let's talk about somebody else with knee problems.
yeah,
Um, Ura appearing at the last slot on the Banzuke. Um, we actually do have news about Ura. We've had it. We've had it during the break. Is that typically they're very tight-lipped about this stuff, but they said that he's probably going to be having surgery, and that from what we know of the ACL, the ligaments within the knee that hold the joint together, that's a 6 to 9 month recovery. So for the man in pink, this could be a fairly big career reset for him. Um,
yeah.
what are your thoughts, Andy?
Um, my my best wishes go out to him because sumo is a rough sport, and but there are a lot of guys like Tochino Shin who have been able to um, uh, yeah, basically take that health, take that recovery time, go back down the Banzuke to beyond Juryo into Makushita, even Sandanme, uh, and really fight back and claw back. We've got paired with Enho in this Banzuke
Yeah.
is Joko Ryu. I
Yep.
mean, a guy who we haven't heard in a long time. I know Enho left this Jungyo with a little bit of worry about his ankle. I'm hoping to see Joko Ryu come back up.
Yep.
It
That'd be
was
great.
when Endo was coming up. It was, yeah, he was right there, and he was having a very promising career, and so it. I think Ura, with his talent and his flexibility, he could come back much quicker than a Joko Ryu,
Yeah.
or like a Tochino Shin, but only time will tell, and really only he will be able to figure out whether he wants to keep plugging along like Aminishiki until he's 38, and or is Aminishiki up 39, 40,
It's like
something like
38, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a few years ahead of. He's a year or two ahead of Takekaze.
Takakaze? Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm 38, and so when these guys are yeah, starting to get elderly at my age, it's painful to watch. But the thing is, he's still 25, so I've got my hopes. I've really, really got my hopes that he can heal, put it together, and come back.
So let's close out with a few predictions. The first thing I want to touch on, if we've got all four Yokozuna in the rotation for most, if not all, of the tournament, what do you think the chances are that either of the Sekiwake will be able to start some sort of campaign for their Ozeki promotion?
Oh, that's tough. Because I get my hopes up about a lot of these guys, and
Matake Yumi,
yeah,
I think back to the first day that Terunofuji's back on tour, he picked Matake Yumi up and tossed him out, and I just looked at that. I said, "Well, there's the kaiju for you." But Matake Yumi seems to be a little frustrated these days. Is that he's solid at Sekiwake, but he seems to be frustrated in that he can't quite convert that into a surplus of wins.
and I don't see him doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'll be interested to see Ono show up Ono show up there.
Exactly.
Takake show is I think another interesting one to watch up there, especially the way that he just got.
Okay, so you brought it up. You're just swerving right into our next topic. The Angry Tadpole team. They are not backing off at all. We have Onosho at Komosubi. We have Takakeishu at Majishiro 1. These guys are pressing hard. And I don't think they're going to be stopped anytime soon. With the veterans in the upper ranks now sporting every Hanbasho, they've got their problems and their injuries. It's only a matter of time until these guys start knocking some of them off, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really is a question of when. I don't think that this tournament is the one where they start doing that though.
Yep.
I'm with Kakuryu back, with at least 3.5 healthy Yokozuna.
And by half you mean the right side of Kisanosato.
Yes. I'm really hopeful that we'll see quite a bit of strong competition from the upper Sanyaku that will really keep these guys at bay for I guess until we get into 2018.
Okay, so before we head out, we'd be remiss to not ask, who do you like for the Yusho?
Kakuryu.
You like Kakuryu for the Yusho?
Oh, but one thing I do for Genki not Genki, we have to do Dayamami.
Okay. Tell me about Dayamami.
His name is Genki. So for this tournament, I'm going with Genki for Dayamami because he comes up from a solid Juryo tournament. There was a whole flush of guys from Juryo, but they were all veterans. I mean, you got Aminishiki, Myogiryu, and Koriyuki coming back up. Dayamami's the young gun. He was already at his highest rank. It'll be interesting to see him coming up because we've got a lot of guys who they've been able to, I guess, not be too intimidated.
Yep. Okay, so you bring it up. Let's talk about last tournament's sort of bright, fresh face, Asano Yama. I could not have been the only one who noticed that he got a lot of attention during the Jungyo. He continues to be happy. He continues to smile. And the crowd seems to like this guy because he's got this sunny disposition. I'm going to be very interested to see if he can follow up this Basho with something close to his performance at Aki.
Yeah, I mean he's got some stiff competition now.
He does. But can he rise to the challenge?
I don't think so this time. Aoyama, Kaisei, Ikioi, Kagayaki right there, Endo. He's going to be in the meat of it, and I think he'll be lucky to and very, very happy with a 7 wins.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to be wanting 8. I mean, if he gets 8, he'll be going up, which at this
that could
point
be hard.
Exactly. So,
okay. Well, hey, one last thing. I'll throw my call in for the U show. People are going to yell and scream and possibly call me names, but keep your eye on Goedo. I think Goedo has an opportunity here, especially if we see some injuries in the Yokozuna group, to come in and take another one.
And that is a good thing. I liked seeing Goedo competing. I'll be controversial. I am a fan of the Henka. I love a good Henka.
A good Henka, yes. A crappy Henka is like, why are you bothering?
Well, I mean, and the thing is, though, like, my favorite Henka is when Hakuho did it Sen Shuraku against Harumafuji. Yep. You can see Harumafuji laughing as he's falling
as he's sailing by, yes.
It's just amazing. It's like when you do that and it's just completely unpredicted. But then, like, he was practically in tears because all the fans were so against him. But I swear, I gotta love it. I gotta love it when they do that. I don't like it when it becomes predictable, like with Aminishiki or Ishiura, because then it's like, it's not a go-to thing. It's not the thing that it should be what's winning you 3-4 matches a tournament. It should be the let's mix things up. Let's just totally throw things out the throw technique, throw skill out the door, and really surprise people. But no, I'm all in favor of a good Henka. So I didn't mind it when Goedo did it, but it didn't look too seemly, I guess. But it was a way to, I guess, buy him that confidence to stave off what was starting to be a very, very bad basho, and just get him going a bit. So yeah, if he's contending for a Yusho, I'll be excited. Yoshikaze, I don't think he'll I don't think he'll be there, or Mitakeumi. Takayasu will be happy with a Kachikoshi.
Yep.
So
okay, yeah. Well, hey, I think that wraps up our video podcast for Kyushu 2017. Andy, thank you very much for joining us here on the video chat today. And folks, remember, when you think about sumo, think Tachiai.